Welcome everybody back to another Summit Sit Down here during our Explore the Summit series. We're talking diversity and inclusion once again with our friends from South Dakota State this week. It is their week to have our website and be the focus of that. And good things have been going on so far with that. And we're excited to be joined today by three great people on down there in Brookings and on campus. It's men's basketball assistant coach Mel Barnes, softball assistant coach Kiki Stokes, and the sophomore on the men's basketball team, Matt Mims. All three of these individuals are part of the Diversity and Athletics Council at SDSU, which I think is awesome. Shows momentum going on campus there. And the first thing that we like to do on these chats is just kind of get why this topic's so important to you guys. So we'll start with you, Trammell.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan, for having us all. I think obviously with kind of where we're at and some things here in the world, it's been really cool to kind of continue to have a lot of different educations and talks. And some of them have been a little bit uncomfortable for everybody too. But with that uncomfortableness, with that, some of that stuff, it also brings a lot of growth. And I think, credit to our President Dunn, and Justin Sell, our athletic director, has taken a really big step and, hitting this thing head on. And it's been awesome being a part of it. And, Matt Mims, Kiki, we're all on a diversity and inclusion council. So it's been awesome just to continue to have talks and bring in speakers and different things like that. So it's been a blast so far.
Great. I know good things are happening down there in Brookings. Kiki, how about you?
Thanks for having us, Ryan. I'm just super, passionate about this topic because I think it's something that has been a long time coming, to be honest. I mean, to be able, after, this summer and all of the events that had, gone up leading to this point, there's just been so much talk about, change and wanting to be better for the future. And I think that with this generation, it's just so important because they are the future. And so being a part of the Diversity and Athletics Council here at SDSU has been a blast. We've, pushed to not only break each other out of our comfort zones, but as well as our coaches, administration, and our student athletes. And so it's something that I think is also going to be for the long haul. This isn't something that, we're just talking about just because it's convenient right now, but because we want to see a change in the future. And so I think it's just a really good thing that's happening at SDSU right now, and I'm really happy to be a part of it.
Great. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, so just with the recent events that we've all seen throughout our country the last several months, I mean, I think we all were just looking for something that could bring us together and that we could make an active change. And I think the Diversity and Athletics Council that we've been a part of since the summer, I mean, we've just done a great job of just collaborating and just thinking of different ideas of what we can do for our Jackrabbit community to actively try to make change and educate people. And it's just been, for me personally, I mean, I've gotten to learn from Kiki and Trammell and a bunch of other people and how to bring about change. So for me personally, it's been great, and I think we're on a really good start for making an impact on campus.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that you and Kiki are on a subcommittee for programming. And recently, I think last week, you guys had a march there in Brookings. Just talk about how that got formed and the response that you saw on campus and how that kind of came together.
Yeah, so this past week was the NCAA's Diversity and Inclusion Week. So I think day 3 of that week was the theme was Together We Rise, and just different ideas that were flowing in the Diversity and Athletics Council. And then also I'm a part of SAC as well, and I run the subcommittee for diversity and inclusion. And just hearing people's feedback and ideas, I think we just thought for that last day a march would be great to have around campus, just to show our campus and then also the Jackrabbit community that we're together in this fight against social injustices and racism, and we're going to stand with each other and just take active steps to make change and to see growth throughout our time here at SDSU.
Absolutely. Kiki, I know that you were part of that too. Just and the together theme from the NCAA, and obviously you were a big part of a together kind of thing this summer with your pro softball team. Just talk about the importance of being together and being, in one accord with all this.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome to be a part of that march again, because it was just so cool seeing all the student athletes. I mean, it came from them. And when it comes from the athletes, and I think that's the other thing, is athletes are, starting to realize that they have a platform and they're using it. And so it's just really cool to see it all come to life, especially here at SDSU. But I think one of the big parts about all of this change is just making sure that we are all aware of what is really going on. I mean, I experienced something a little bit different, I guess, this summer with just being, I guess, looked down upon and spoken for. And it kind of just changed my outlook for, helping, the next generation and helping the people that are around me. And I think when you unify, when you talk about unity, the thing that I think about is solidarity, like making sure that everybody is on the same page and that everybody is doing the same thing. And so I think that was, part of that unity march was all of us. It wasn't just one thing, one topic. It was all of us kind of coming together with our different ideas and different backgrounds to just be united as one. And I just think that that's really what unity is. It's embodying and embracing everybody and understanding that, we might all walk from different paths of life, but if we can all be together, then that's how we create change. And it's more powerful when we do it together.
For sure. And that's evident just by the things that are transpiring across the country, and even on a smaller scale there in Brookings, just like Matt talked about, not just for the campus, but that whole community in Brookings too, which is really cool to see. Trammell, one of the things that this topic has been able to do is bring teams closer together, like just within, like that men's basketball program there at SDSU. And you talked a little bit in your intro about, some uncomfortableness and some tough conversations, but what have those led to? Like, what kind of growth have you seen within just the Jackrabbit men's basketball team?
Yeah, I think after everything went down this summer with some of those, obviously some of those bad experiences that happened, we took a lot of ownership and more so just like listening. We had a couple Zooms as a team, and Coach Henderson was really big on just stressing like listening first and trying to comprehend. And you know what, we're all from different backgrounds, but at the end of the day, like if you listen first, and you can really grow and bring light to some of that different stuff that happens. We read a book as a team, Under Our Skin by Benjamin Watson. So we had a lot of different talks on that, and it was kind of just cool seeing our guys. We've got guys from mostly the Midwest, but from different backgrounds, different races, different everything, and just hearing guys, black guys, white guys, whatever, natives. I mean, the vast majority of guys, just hearing them talk about their experiences and then just opening up and being aware and having some of those difficult conversations. So it was cool to see that. And our guys have done a great job. Matt Mims, dude, he's a rock star on campus, killing and with all that stuff. So it's been awesome just being a part of that.
Yeah. And Matt, I know back when the summer, when the George Floyd thing transpired, and you had a pretty powerful photo on Instagram that, standing in front of a courthouse. Was that back home in Cedar Rapids, or kind of what's the story behind that picture? And I know it was at a kind of a protest. So what went into that?
Yeah, so that was back home in Cedar Rapids. So yeah, there's a march for George Floyd in my city, and it was that was a really cool experience just for me, because I got to meet a lot of older Black folks that have like done a lot of things for our community, and they've been a part of the NAACP and stuff like that, and just being able to talk to them and pick their heads and get some of their ideas on how our generation can bring change. And also it was just kind of cool just to see like a lot like our Unity March. I mean, there's just people were really together. Like it didn't really matter what color you were. Like if you were at that march, like I mean, you were really you were letting the courthouse know like we want change. Like because there's been events in my own city that have been similar to the George Floyd case, and so yeah, it was pretty that was a pretty cool experience for me this summer just to be there, because usually I'm up here in Brookings, so being able to be back home for that was pretty special for me.
Yeah, special, powerful too. Just kind of being able to be a part of it, and I think a lot of this is conversations, and there's listening, and there's talking, but action's the key word, right? Like we need to take action and keep the momentum going. And Kiki, for you, just in your role there at SDSU with the softball team, I asked Tramel about it with the men's basketball team. How has it been with the softball team? Like, what are the conversations like, and how's the momentum going with you guys?
It really started in the summer for all of our kids. After kind of what had happened with me this summer with my team, I think that was the initial thing that really opened up for them to kind of just ask me questions. And then we began to talk about it more as a team. I mean, first it started off as individuals, what can I do and what's really going on? And then I think we wanted to put it together as like, because we don't really have a lot of diversity on our team. Majority of our team is predominantly white.
Right.
We've got a few girls who are Latino, and that's really it. And so I think the biggest thing was, a lot of them felt really just uncomfortable because they didn't feel like they had a place or a space to talk about it. And so I just opened it up, and me and Coach Wood and Coach Villar, really, we started the conversation to start, and we were just like, what is, important right now for our kids to know? And I brought a couple of my teammates on, and we had a discussion just as a group of kind of what all went down this summer and how we all can create those conversations. And even though that they might be uncomfortable, that they have to be had. And after that, we had actually ended up I had a couple of Black teammates that I played with at Nebraska that also came on and talked to the team a couple weeks later. And we really just talked about, our experiences, because I think that is really how people learn. Is through experience. And everyone, that was on that call, I think was kind of just like wide-eyed, like, wow, this actually, happens. And my own coach at that, has gone through these things, and she's a Black person in the sport. And in the sport of softball, it's getting a lot better. But, growing up, I was always told this is a white sport. And so to see it now growing to where, there's all these different backgrounds and everyone looks different, and there's different body types, and it's just so much difference that it's starting to all be seen. And I think that is the biggest part, is just, being aware that we're at our best when everybody looks different and everybody is coming from different places. And so the conversations for our team have continued, and it's awesome to hear them, just talking amongst each other. And even though there's no, minorities on our team other than the 3 that we have, they're talking with other kids on campus. I think like SAC, it's awesome to see what our SAC group on campus is doing. I mean, they've got their own diversity committee in SAC, and it's cool to see that the student athletes are the ones that are really wanting to engage and be different, because they, again, are going to be the ones that change for the future.
That's great. That's, it's neat to see that, you talked about that space that maybe they were afraid to enter into this time last year even, and now fast forward a year, and there's so many more conversations going on, and just there's so much growth happening across our country, and I see it. And these talks have been great, for me. Just it's uplifting, it's encouraging that these things are happening on campus, so that's really cool. One other thing is it's election season right now, right? And I know, Tramel, that I think Leah Kroger told me that you were part of the subcommittee for that. So how's the momentum been to let these student athletes know that they do have a voice and they should be out there voting?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we wanted to do was just continue to educate everyone, and I can remember when I was 18, I didn't really have anyone really besides my family to kind of tell you. And I think the biggest thing is we want to continue to push no bias on anybody, but we want to tell them, this is how you can learn about local, state government and what people stand for, and just not either left or right or whatever that may be. Just showing them ways, showing them links. We did a thing in our athletic department where we had every student athlete try to register. So we really, really pushed that, and not saying, hey, you don't have to vote. We're not demanding that you vote, but we want to register you, get you registered. So if you do choose to and educate you on some of this stuff, you have the opportunity to, because a lot of times our student athletes are coming from all over the country. So they, obviously we have a lot of South Dakota kids, but we may have kids from Texas, Florida, Iowa, whatever that may be. So every state's a little bit different on how they do stuff with absentee or mail-in voting. So just making sure that they were prepared for that and registered and ready to go. But it's been good. I think our student athletes have done a great job of, taking the initiative to learn and want to learn with some of that stuff. And, credit to our head coaches too, and all the assistants that helped kind of get all that stuff sorted out too. So I know a lot of work went into that, and we're really appreciative of it.
Yeah, that's great. And that, there's a lot going on, right, with the social injustice and then voting, and then it all kind of comes together too. Like it's all interwoven a little bit. And I know that it's important, and a lot of our schools have been making the same pushes. So great to see that you guys are doing that as well. Matt, just want to kind of wrap up with you and get your thoughts as a student athlete on what you've seen on campus. And I know you're involved with SAC. I know that you're, outspoken with men's basketball team, but just collectively, take yourself back to last year to this year, like how much change has gone on and how much improvement's been made, and like what doors have been open for you.
Comparing from, my first couple years here till now, I think we've already made some steps in the right direction. I mean, I'd say I feel like a lot more people care and want to see a change as well, and are willing to stand with people who may not have a voice, or just want to bring about awareness for some of these things that happen in our country. And for me, that means a lot. And it's great to see a university that I love. Like I put my heart and soul into it in sports, and then also just trying to bring change on campus. I think just seeing people want to do the same, I mean, that means a lot to me. It's been really cool to see the last few months of what we've done so far, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future as well.
Yeah, passion is evident, and it's appreciated, and it's even better when it's kind of put into action. And I know that you're doing a lot of great things there. I know that you as well, Trammell and Kiki, and this has been great. Really enjoyed the conversation. I think you guys shined a great light on Brookings and the SDSU campus and what's happening there with diversity and inclusion. So we certainly appreciate your time. And I know basketball is right around the corner with some games and some real play, which is fun to get back to live sports. And then, of course, softball in the spring. So wish you guys the best of luck in those endeavors, and we'll see you down the road. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ryan.